Hi everyone, so yes, I'm back with the OnePlus 7 Pro because I got the new update, and I also wanted to report on battery life, which of course was missing on my review. It takes quite a few days to get a full proper gauge of the battery, to do a couple of cycles, and I also wanted to compare 60 Hz versus 90 Hz. But first up, I wanted to talk about this update that just came through. So it has improved apparently the camera, and yes, I can confirm that the bugs that I had with the electronic image stabilization, okay, that it wasn't working sometimes in video. I've recorded 10 clips, and all of those 10 clips had electronic image stabilization, so it looks like they fixed that particular bug. So this is the big update for the camera. Yes, it's looking better. I will give you some samples. I can see a noticeable improvement, that things have been tweaked, especially with the white balance and the way it's getting the colors. The wide-angled lens is still a little disappointing because the edges, they're a little bit blurred and not so great, but it has improved, which is good. They're getting there slowly, but don't expect it to compete with the Pixel 3a with the Huawei P30 Pro because it's still not at that level, at least indoors and low light, okay? Now, one thing they haven't fixed is the audio quality in video. It's still the 96 kilobytes per second, so it still sounds terrible to me. And I also wanted to point out this with the camera, that I thought they might address this. So we know that with the sensors, okay, so this one right here, that is the 48 megapixel. This is our 3 times zoom, so it's not a complete 3 times optical. I know there's a lot of debate at that moment, a bit of controversy, but I won't really get into that. But I just wanted to point out that if I now cover it, okay, let's go over now to the 3 times with me touching it. Okay, 3 times, and I'll cover it again. Finger's still there, all right? Hang on. Why is it not blocked? Move my finger up to the main 48. There we go. So when you're taking photos, and this also is in video mode too, it's not actually using that other sensor. The only time it will use that sensor, I'll show you now just to confirm it, is when you go to portrait mode. So portrait mode, oh look, it's blocked. Okay, more light required. Ooh, good that it detects that. So I take my finger off, then it's going to actually work. So that's the only time it's using it. I'll just demonstrate video too. So in video, and this is why to me, when I was recording video in 4K, and I said in my review, when I used the 3 times, I said it looked terrible, and that is why, because it's actually just cropping. Again, I'll block it. So to me, it kind of defeats the purpose. Why do they have that sensor there if they're not actually going to use it? Is it because of the electronic image stabilization crop that they have to do? That could possibly be it. So hopefully they're going to improve at least the audio quality. And with the photos, I would really like them to use that other one. You can see the ×3, and then of course the wide-angled lens. Okay, so that's all fine there. Now, what a lot of you people are probably after right now is battery stats, okay? So I wanted to compare 60 Hertz to 90 Hertz, which I did. So this is first standby battery drain. So we lost 6% in almost 12 hours. So it's not actually bad. So standby battery drain is good. And this was with the phone on data, okay? And I left sync on and all those kind of things. I just left it overnight, went to bed, and that is good. So 9 hours and 50 minutes here. Very good battery life. Actually way better than I expected. So I calibrated the display to 200 lux, and I used 40% data, 60% wireless here to get this result. And it's going to vary from person to person, of course. So there we go. So 9 hours, 50 minutes, 9 hours, 50 minutes, okay? And now what happened when I used, as you can see, that's my use, when I used the 90 Hertz. So that was 60 Hertz, sorry, before. This is now 90 Hertz, and you can see you're going to lose about an hour and 20 minutes screen on time. So with this kind of a test here. So yes, it does make an impact on the battery life as expected, but not as bad as I first thought, because when I first had the phone, okay, I got about 6 hours screen on time, but that was super demanding use. I was taking a lot of video footage, I was running benchmarks, I was gaming a lot on it, and that is why. So for heavy users out there, you might struggle. You might, just to make it through a whole day. But the average kind of person out there with more sort of mixed use, I believe it's going to definitely be a one-day phone. So you're going to be fine there. But the move from 90 Hertz to 60 is definitely noticeable. So when I go back to my Huawei P30 Pro with its 1080p kind of crappy display, it's not as good as this one by far. There's a huge difference, and you notice it. But is it an absolute, oh, from now on I can only look at 90 Hertz screens? For me, no. Okay, I like my 144 Hertz screens refresh rates for gaming, just like everyone else. But when it comes to mobile phones, I don't actually think 90 Hertz, we need it. It's great to have though, don't get me wrong. It's fantastic. How smooth this phone is, just unbelievable. It's the smoothest Android phone ever that I've used. And yeah, bug-wise, fingerprint unlocking as well. Like sometimes when you go to unlock, there has been, I've noticed a couple of times, a bit of stutter, like a delay. But on the latest patch, I think it's gone. So it looks like they have improved things there. So this is a video now on the 9.5.5 big camera update, and it still looks a little soft to me. And unfortunately, they have not improved the bit rate on the audio as well. So it still sounds scratchy. It's probably picking up a little bit of wind noise as well at the moment, and the crop is exactly the same. So you have to hold your arm out quite a bit. So you can just fit yourself in here. But the good thing is, of course, that stabilization, you can see walking along, that when you see it on the camera, on the viewfinder right now, it looks like it's shaking all over the place. But then when you later go back and view the video, it's actually really quite stable. So hopefully they can improve the audio with this. 4K 30 frames per second video sample now. So the electronic image stabilization is exactly the same. Very good. Works well, as you can see. I'm not using a gimbal, nothing like that. I'm just holding it handheld, 2 hands. So as I pointed out, the 3 times that I'm going over to now is still using that 48 megapixel sensor. So it's not actually using the other one, the 8 megapixel one, which is a bit disappointing. That means this quality, as you can see, is very poor because it's digital zoom and not optical. So what has improved with the update is the focus. I'm happy to report the focus. Have a look at this. Really good now. Before it was a little slow, sometimes it just didn't want to lock onto things closer, and that's good. So there we go. I am seeing an improvement in the camera, which is really good. I'm happy for that, and I hope that OnePlus keep pushing and improving things, but just don't expect it to be Android's best camera out there, because then you're going to be a little disappointed, I feel. What for me is disappointing is more the audio quality in video, quite scratchy as you heard from my samples. The wide-angled lens, while it can take a decent shot, and I love wide-angled shots, it just does not compete compared to the likes of the Samsung Galaxy S9 10 Plus. Is much sharper, and also my Huawei P30 Pro, much sharper there. It's great to have it, it's just I think the lens is not really that great on there. And I really want OnePlus as well, if they could start to use the 3 times camera. If they could use that in video and also let us use the wide angled in video, would be really good. And I hope that that's going to be added with future updates here. So you can't really go wrong with this phone, I feel, for the speed of it and the screen. The screen is by far the best thing ever about it. The full screen experience, the 90 Hertz, and just how fast and fluid and smooth the operating system is. It's just like no other Android phone at this point in time. Thank you so much for watching this updated video, and please do like and subscribe for more. Bye for now.